On the 10th day of the zombie virus outbreak, I was finally eaten clean by my crazy mother-in-law, my scumbag husband and his white moon. To keep the meat fresh, they let me languish and cut a piece of meat off me every day, calf, thigh, arm, but they ate my meat while cursing it for being sour and smelly, and gave me a name, Man-Pig. When I was reborn, I stocked up on supplies and watched them kill each other. Who will be the human pig this time? Bang. There was a loud explosion and I sat up violently from the bed. In bed, I was surprised to find myself as good as new. Wasn't there a zombie virus outbreak? When I didn't have supplies, my crazy mother-in-law, my scummy husband, and his white moon ate me up. I rolled out of bed and looked out the window. It was two cars that collided. Am I going back to before the disaster broke out? As I recall, the owner of the black car was wearing white and the owner of the white car was wearing red. And the two fought as soon as they got out of the car. A moment later, downstairs, two figures, one white and one red, were indeed writhing together. I'm sure I'm born again. I picked up my phone and looked at the date. 3 days before the zombie virus outbreak. 3 days and counting. I want survival and I want revenge. Zhang-Chi was standing at the living room window watching a movie, and when he saw me getting ready to go out, he asked me, "It's the weekend, where are you going?" "My neck is a little sore, go get a massage." Zhang-Chi's eyes flickered like ghostly flames in the darkness. "Driving, right?" He grinned and threw me a flying kiss. "Take care on the road, wife." If it were before, I would have looked at the man's handsome face and gentle smile and would have only blushed and felt incredibly happy. And now, I just feel sick and dangerous. I'm not getting a massage, I'm collecting rent. I had long noticed that Zhang-Chi was monitoring my assets, but I didn't take it to heart, thinking that I was all husband and wife. Right now I need a lot of money to stock up on supplies, and if I touch the money on my bank card, he'll find out. I couldn't let him notice that something was wrong with me. The housing and stores under my name collect rent once every 5 years, and the rent collection day is just a few days away. Even half of the rent collected will be enough for me to build safe houses and stock up on supplies. After exiting the elevator, the cell phone signal was a little better, and Zhang-Chi's voice came out from the phone. "Ran, she's out for a massage. According to her habit, she won't be back for a day. Will you come to my house?" "What, your house?" "That's my house. You're just a softie who can't even afford a down payment." I gritted my teeth in hatred and got into my car, listening for movement on the other side of my cell phone. I hid my second cell phone in my bedroom closet so I could listen in on Zhang-Chi. But I always felt uneasy, constantly remembering Zhang-Chi's weird smile before I left the house. I sat in my car, editing my messages and listening for Zhang-Chi's movements. Ran, I'm sorry, when I get the money. "What beauty card? Massage card? You want what card I give you to do what card? Okay." Su Xiaoxia, that bitch's parents left her a lot of money. She doesn't have any relatives. When she dies, her property will all be mine. Hate to the point of indifference and calm, I don't love her at all. I married her for her money. I just want to marry you. You're like a princess. I want to give you the best material life. I've been in love with you since I was 16. I've loved you for 10 years, and I've never changed my heart. Chui Ran family poverty, but beautiful as a flower. Around the rich second-generation boyfriend has not broken. How now even a beauty card cannot afford to do. The message was edited and I sent it to the tenants group. Pay your rent with paper money within 3 days and get 1% of your rent free for 5 years. A message went out and the group rioted. 1%, I'll get the money now. Rich woman, hungry, rice, upstairs, get out. The rich girl is mine, my 8-pack abs are done. When is misfortune coming to adopt me? I was amused by the group's message, and just as I lit the fire, I heard Zhang-Chi say, "Not only is her inheritance mine, but I'm the beneficiary of her insurance." Ren, I bought her personal accident insurance the day we met again, and I tampered with her car's brake band, guessing that it's just a matter of days before she'll be stepping into the yellow springs in her car. Ha 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 ha. I was so shocked that I immediately turned off the engine, and once again remembered Zhang-Chi's laugh and only felt creeped out. Sure enough, when love dies, women become incredibly perceptive. On the cell phone was Zhang-Chi's arrogant laughter. Ha 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 ha, the timeline is so long. It won't be found by the police. Ran. There will be several $100 million waiting for us to spend when the time comes. Ran. I love you. I love you. It turns out that even if there was no doomsday, I would have died at the hands of that pair of dogs, Zhang Qi and Cui Ran. I resisted the urge to rush back and get Zhang Qi killed, called a cab, went to buy a suitcase first, and then went to collect the rent. These tenants of mine have saved me a lot of heartache, and I hint to them after I've collected a household to stock up on food and drink. Halfway through receiving it, I remembered that I had a large flat that had been sitting unused and could probably be used as a safe house. It was a large flat on the 7th and top floor, totaling 300 square feet, enough for me to place my supplies. Although this building was not as big as the dozens of floors of. The building was not tall compared to the others, but it was already the tallest building around, and not connected to the other buildings. The building is structurally strong, with a solid foundation. Solid, the elevator is one flight of stairs, the fire escape doors are fire and bulletproof, and the safety factor is high. In a moment I'll buy a big lock and lock the fire escape, and the first barrier will be cashed. I stopped collecting rent and went to the remodeling company. When Cui Ran entered my house, I was directing the decorator to reinforce the security net while replacing the glass with one-way bulletproof glass. Oh yeah, and the doors are replaced with the thickest, heaviest, strongest kind that Gatling can't get through. The decorator wiped his sweat. Sister, are you going to build a prison? I put on a pitiful face. I'm divorcing my husband and I'm afraid he'll come to take revenge on me. There's so much news about wife killers nowadays. I'm really too scared. Master, I will give you more money. You finish the work for me as soon as possible, otherwise I really have nowhere to go. The decorator heard, and immediately felt a great responsibility. Today the glass for you to install, tomorrow on the afternoon door for you to install. Thank you, Master. I paid the deposit, and after thinking about it, I still said, Master, epidemics are always recurring, so you should stock up on more food and drink. The decorator was all over the place, and I wasn't sure if he was listening or not, and that was all I could do. While Zhang Qi was hugging Cui Ran and nibbling, I rented a van to order solar power panels. By then, the power generation panels, rainwater harvesting, the bins are all going to be mounted on the rooftop. And you'll have to buy another lock to lock the rooftop door so no one can vandalize it. While Zhang Qi and Cui Ran stripped each other of their clothes, I bought a bunch of nutrient soil, vegetable seeds, and planting boxes. When the rhythmic applause sounded, I bought 3 large refrigerators, 10 induction cookers, 10 electric kettles, and had 5 gas cans delivered. If it hadn't been for the rule that no more than 5 gas canisters could be placed in a household, and I was afraid of being blown up, would have really wanted to buy 20. Zhang Qi, brother, hello, you're great. I gave up on going to the supermarket and called the manufacturer directly and started ordering in the midst of Cui Ran's panting. Rice, flour, hanging noodles, cooking oil, seasonings, buckets of water, canned meat, canned fruit, compressed cookies, canned powdered milk, nuts, bread, instant noodles, dumplings, wontons. And rice dumplings are bought in dozens and dozens of boxes, and of course, my favorite fondue base. I'm going to eat hot pot every day, while Zhang Qi and the others can't even eat hot pot base. I bought it while doing the math, not on price, but on load bearing. If it weren't for the fear of living low and having to hear the horrors of zombies every day, I'd love to rent a huge warehouse and not have to think about weight bearing. Just stuff it and be done with it. The basic necessities have been purchased and my half a suitcase of money has been used up. Dragging my empty suitcase with me, my steps were much easier. When I took the delivery master to move the goods, I was asked by the security guard, "This is a building, why did you buy so much rice, flour, grain and oil?" I'm a hoarder, I shiver when there's less stuff in the house. You should stock up too, just in case. Obviously, the security guard didn't take my words to heart, but just sought out the fact that modern people don't seem to be modern without some kind of mental illness. By the way, you live on the 7th floor of the 3rd building, don't you? I thumped inside, instinctively not wanting to tell the guard my true information, but not telling would be checked, and lying would invite more trouble. I nodded and went upstairs full of anxiety. By the time it got dark, the windows were already installed. And the property was not allowed to lay solar panels privately, so I asked the owner to come in the day before the end of the day and install them. Be sure to pave the 150 square feet of rooftop. Disappointment flashed in Zhang Qi's eyes when I opened the door. Cui Ran had already left, and I greeted Zhang Qi as if nothing had happened and went into the bathroom to take a shower. I wasn't going to sleep in the bedroom at night. After listening to those two scream all afternoon, I felt sick to my stomach looking at that bed, but I made a trip into the room to hide a pinhole camera in a hidden spot. There is also a living room, toilet, kitchen, second bedroom, balcony. The end of the day is boring, so I can rely on these to pass the time. Unfortunately, this camera relies on the internet, which was cut off 7 days after the zombie outbreak. 7 days, that's enough time for a dogfight. I have work tonight. So I'll sleep in the second bedroom so I don't disturb your rest. He's so relieved. Wasn't he afraid I'd try to dominate him? Don't disgust me, dirty man. It occurred to me again that Cui Ran couldn't even afford a beauty card, and I made a call to have someone investigate Cui Ran. When Zhang Qi went to bed, I secretly got up and checked the food stocks in the house. The rice and noodles were at the bottom. And the only thing in the fridge was half a pound of old-fashioned egg cake I'd bought, and 2 packages of rice noodles. Sure enough, I won't buy a single grain of rice without Zhang Qi. It's also fortunate that Zhang Qi is lazy and a chicken thief, so I don't have to worry about him replenishing his supplies before a disaster. I was up and out the door at the crack of dawn, collected half a day's rent and went on to make purchases, medicines, including antidiarrheal, antipyretic, cold and flu remedies, painkillers, melatonin, various vitamins, alcohol, and bandages, daily necessities, toilet paper, sanitary napkins, shampoo, soap, face wash, laundry detergent, soap, toothpaste, toothbrush. Water resources are scarce in the last days, so it is better to save the hair conditioner, shower gel and so on. There are also several quilts, blankets, cotton pajamas, a few thick military cotton coats, snow boots. There is no heating in winter, and without these things, I am afraid that I will freeze to death in winter. Electronics, 2 laptops, 2 cell phones, 2 tablets, 2 Kindles, 10 earphones, 5 headphones, 10 rechargeable batteries, and 50 extra-large USB flash drives containing various movies, TV shows, ebooks, and music. There are also a bunch of sockets and data cables. My favorite snacks, chocolate, French fries, potato chips, chorizo, candy, dried fruit, and 10 cases of yogurt. I also went out and bought an extra comfy mattress couch to be a happy salty fish from now on. Even if you can only live 1 more year, be happy. Halfway through the purchase, Zhang Qi called me. I told him I went out on a trip, and then I called again and didn't answer. Scumbag, don't come and waste my purchasing time. On the last day, I bought fruits, vegetables, pork, fish, chicken, and some seafood to fill up the refrigerator, and the solar panels were installed. I locked all the doors and planted vegetables into the grow boxes while waiting for night to come. After thinking about it, I posted anonymously, "Everyone, stock up on food and water today and don't go out tomorrow. Remember, don't go out." That's all I can do. In my previous life, I was the one who invited Cui Ran to our home as a guest. Then the zombie outbreak stranded her here, and this time, Cui Ran has been, I'm home, stony-faced, and discussing with Zhang Qi what's wrong with me. I ate my seafood chili and watched the big screen. The two were sitting on the couch in the living room. She's not going to find out, is she? Zhang Qi snorted coldly. She's so stupid. How could she possibly find out if we did it so stealthily? What about her? She's been sick in the head for more than a day or 2. Ran, don't talk about her. It's good that she's traveling. We can stay together for days. Zhang Qi's voice grew ragged as the two rolled to a stop. Last time it was just sound, but this time it's sound plus picture, and it's definitely powerful enough. Cui Ran is worthy of being the school flower. There is no place on her body that is not beautiful. Big breasts, thin waist and long legs, snow white and smooth skin, delicate and sweet voice. it was clear, however, that Chui Ren's happiness was feigned. I snorted coldly. Zhang Qi is not only a soft rice man and a soft-footed shrimp, but also a soft chicken man, now that I think about it. He is nothing more than a good-looking face. On the contrary, in my previous life, I was a big-faced dog. What a deserved death. The two on the screen were entwined when the doorbell rang. The third protagonist has finally made his appearance. Ha ha ha, my good mother-in-law. Guess in the post-apocalyptic world, will your good son still be as dutiful and obedient as ever? Strong mother-in-law mama's boy. This pairing is simply destructive, even if Zhang Qi is not as good as me in every way. Even if I pay for all the food and clothing for their family, my mother-in-law Li Hongmei still feels that I have climbed up the ladder. In Li Hongmei's opinion, only the governor's daughter is barely worthy of her son. Even if you look down on me, you even insult me, saying that I'm a spoilsport and that I'm a father and mother. In a previous life, she was the one who stared at me sorrowfully after the grain ran out and said, "Isn't there a bunch of meat left to eat?" Then I had Zhang Qi and Chui Ren hold me down and cut off the flesh on my calf. I am a human being. I am a human being who was born to a mother in October and raised by my parents for more than 20 years. They want me to stand on their shoulders and live happily ever after, not be treated like a pile of meat to be eaten, much less a human pig. I was shaking with anger, calmed down and went back to eating my seafood. Suddenly, my phone rang and someone sent over a profile and a couple videos. I took a look and my mind was made up. Li Hongmei over there was not surprised to see Chui Ren. She had known her son's plan for a long time, and not only did she not stop it, she also contributed a lot of effort. She asked Zhang Qi, "That bitch isn't home." "Not here," Li Hongmei said. "How dare she not be at home to greet her mother-in-law when she arrives? She's really something that was born and raised by her parents. Call her and tell her to come back and serve me." Zhang Qi tried to persuade Li Hongmei. "Mom, she went on a trip. How can she come back? What's more, Ran is here, traveling." Li Hongmei heard, more angry. "She took our money to travel, really fucking shameless. Out of the car accident, died in the middle of the road is good. I came to the cold stove cold pot. She is good, traveling to go. Son, she will not be outside someone, right?" Zhang Qi laughed out loud at his words. And Chui Ren also covered her mouth and snickered. "Mom. If she's like that, who's going to look at her from the outside?" "All right, Mom, I'm hungry. Make me something to eat." I gritted my teeth as I heard this, frowned, and hurriedly called Zhang Qi. "Hello," Zhang Qi said in a bad mood. "Our mom is here. I'll order some seafood takeout and have it delivered to the house. I'll order some seafood takeout and send it home. Tomorrow I'll go home and take my mom to eat a big meal and buy new clothes and bags." Li Hongmei was a bit more satisfied with this and said with a raised eyebrow, "Tell her to hurry up." I ordered some fine seafood. Li Hongmei looked so little, slapped the table to call me to scold me, and then look at the price on the small ticket. "Satisfied, will be divided into 3 seafood." I had to pretend I didn't know about Chui Ren's presence, and naturally I ordered for 2. Chui Ren only got a very small portion, but she had been on a diet and didn't say anything. That seafood was expensive but in small quantities, leaving them barely half full, but not hungry enough to go food shopping in the middle of the night. I don't want my plans spoiled by them. Hearing that I go back tomorrow, after dinner, Li Hongmei drove Chui Ren away, saying something like, "After all, Zhang Qi and I are still not divorced, and it is not good for her reputation for her to spend the night here. Old thing, you're so grandiose. Aren't you afraid that I'll go back suddenly? Catch Zhang Qi cheating and can't get the money in the divorce." I was awakened by a loud explosion outside my window. I kneeled on the floating window and looked out. Several cars crashed in a series of collisions, people screaming and dodging walkers, only to be pounced on and eaten empty stomachs. There was blood everywhere on the floor and I couldn't bear to look at it anymore. The end came as promised, and I kept a house full of supplies but felt no sense of celebration. If I could, I'd like to think that everything I do is useless, that the sun comes up as usual, and that people live their lives as usual. I pulled out my computer and watched the news for a while, then found the post I made yesterday. Someone commented below, "Thank goodness I saw this post. I bought a lot of hanging noodles and water to last me a while. Me too. I was going to go shopping today, but thought better of it or I won't be able to come back. Being able to help some of these people is the only thing that has comforted me these past few days. It's just a shame that Trey Ren didn't have the pattern come and get stuck in my house like he did in his previous life. I threw myself onto the couch, hugged the cake, and turned on the TV. Just then I heard a knock on the door and I subconsciously got up. No, the knock was coming from the screen. Zhang Qi looked through the cat's eye before opening the door. In comes a battered Cui Ran. Who says her neighborhood is full of walkers and she's scared to be alone? The three of them were dumbfounded by the chaos outside, and after a reprieve, Cui Ran asked Zhang Qi, "Brother, is there much food at home?" Zhang Qi rushed into the kitchen and found that the rice and noodles were gone, and then looked at the refrigerator and despaired even more. He cursed, "Su Xiao, this useless thing, doesn't even know to replenish the family's rice and noodles when they're gone. She's trying to get us killed, damn it, stupid." Zhang Qi put his arm around Cui Ran. "She's usually like a pig, she eats more than three of you. Why didn't she buy anything this time? I'm really strange. I'm 5'7", 55 kilograms. Dry food is not fat, but also work out for an hour a day. What's wrong with eating more? One can't live up to good food." As soon as Li Hongmei heard Zhang Qi's words, she hurriedly added, "That's still good for Ran Ran, she eats less, ha ha ha." I laughed so hard at that I stumbled. My evil mother-in-law is starting to get her act together. Turning to Noon, Li Hongmei picked up the 2 bags of rice noodles, winked at Zhang Qi, and said, "Anyway, Ran eats less, so more or less bread will be enough." With that, Li Hongmei went into the kitchen to cook the rice noodles. Zhang Qi looked at his mother, then at Cui Ran, and didn't let out a single fart. This time, Trey Ran was the one who was dropped. She thought that if she escaped here, everything would be fine, but love is bullshit in the face of disaster. My wontons were already cooked, and I poured them into a long-ago rinsed seaweed and shrimp soup and ate half the bowl in one gulp, sweating hot. Ah, it's so good. Zhang Qi and Li Hongmei also had a good meal of rice noodles. And Cui Ran was the only one sitting alone in the bedroom, nibbling on dry bread. Zhang Qi finished his meal and hesitated at the door for a long time before he dared to come in, and even pretended to ask, "Ran Ran, are you hungry?" Unexpectedly, Cui Ran didn't make any noise or fuss, and hugged Zhang Qi with silent tears. "Brother, of course I'm hungry, but there isn't much food. I'd rather starve myself than let you and Auntie suffer, but, brother, there isn't much food left at home. We must go out and find some." I couldn't help but give a thumbs up in TSK. Is this the top green tea, so good at taking people's hearts? Regarding the matter of searching for supplies, Zhang Qi had no clue and lacked courage, but where to look for it. As you can see, there are monsters out there, and if you are bitten, you will be eaten out of your internal organs and then become a walking corpse as well. Trey Ran stopped talking. At dinner, Cui Ran couldn't even eat the bread. Just because Zhang Qi said, as if unintentionally, "Ran rarely eats at night," Li Hongmei immediately put away all the egg cakes, afraid that Cui Ran would take one more bite. 3 days had passed, and Cui Ran had only eaten a small cake, so hungry that her eyes were bleary and she couldn't walk properly. Cui Ran is not a contrary master. I had been waiting for her to counterattack, and sure enough, she called Zhang Qi into the room, and the two of them whispered. Not knowing what they were plotting, Zhang Qi suddenly stood up with a sound of miso. "No way, this is murder. The walkers out there are killing people too. Does anyone care? If the crisis is over, the police won't leave us alone. The crisis won't end, at least not soon. If we don't find new food, we won't make it through the week." Zhang Qi was persuaded, and Cui Ran changed into a sexy low-cut dress and handed Zhang Qi another fruit knife. The two men looked through the cat's eye to make sure it was safe outside, opened the gate, and went out. What are they going to do? Venture downstairs in search of food? It couldn't be. The neighborhood was full of zombies at this time in his previous life, and the nearest convenience store was 200 meters away. What if they don't go to the convenience store? They were going to rob someone else, as I recall. My downstairs neighbor was a solitary geek who was always moving boxes and boxes of instant noodles, potato chips, and Coke into the house. But in the midst of the apocalypse, everyone would be extremely wary of strangers, and geeks are geeks, but not stupid, so how could they possibly take the initiative to open the door to their room? Seduction. I watched the screen with a stony face, silently praying that my downstairs neighbor would be safe. Prayers have fallen short. Within 20 minutes. The two men returned covered in blood and carrying two large boxes. Trey Ran stayed out of the way and carried the boxes into the bedroom. Li Hongmei sniffed over and saw that in the box were all kinds of instant noodles, self-heating hot pots, self-heating rice, potato chips, shrimp fries, as well as Coke and beer. First froze for a few seconds, then was more excited than seeing gold. Where did you get this? Ran brought me to get it. Zhang Qi was also very happy and wrapped his arms around Cui Ran and kissed her heavily several times. Li Hongmei immediately went to praise Cui Ran's wisdom and courage, pulling Cui Ran's hand intimately as if Cui Ran was her own daughter, not remembering at all how she treated Cui Ran in the past few days. Cui Ran, still looking as unassuming as ever, said, "Auntie, I'm craving some egg cake. Can you get me some?" Li Hongmei was willing as could be. And with a shout she went back to her room to get it. Cui Ran followed Li Hongmei, and after she went in, she sneered and closed the door to the room, locking Li Hongmei inside. Li Hongmei panicked and rapped on the door. Ran, what are you doing? Open the door quickly. Zhang Qi, come and save me. Zhang Qi ran over and asked Cui Ran, what are you going to do, brother? In the post-apocalyptic world, I can trick men into opening the door to their rooms. You can subdue them. But what about Auntie? What can she do? If it is a sensible and selfless elderly person, they will not drag the young people down at all, but will take the initiative to sacrifice themselves to give the young people more hope of survival. Auntie doesn't know any better. We have to teach her to know better. Cui Ran, don't be crazy. Open the door. There's so much food. Enough for the three of us. It's a lot of food. But how long is it enough for us? A week, 10 days, brother. We have to try our best to stay alive until the zombie crisis is over. We still have to settle the score with that bitch Su Xiaoxia. We still have to get a license to get married. Zhang Qi's hand that went to grab the key stopped. Married to Cui Ran. It's been his dream for 10 years. Cui Ran hugged Zhang Qi. Her voice was gentle, like a demoness that could compel people's hearts. Brother. We are the ones who are going to be together for the rest of our lives. Things have gone completely beyond my expectations. In just half an hour, Li Hongmei went from food controller to prisoner, and Cui Ran, who had been sidelined, became the absolute leader. Her relationship with Zhang Qi heated up even more rapidly, and after eating and drinking, they began to roll in bed. Cui Ran moaned loudly without a care in the world, drowning out Li Hongmei's curses and completely dragging Zhang Qi into a gentle land. I was so angry that I couldn't eat my meal. I opened my cell phone and was about to send a file to Zhang Qi. Suddenly, the power went out. That's not true. The last time the power went out was a week after the crisis started. I opened my cell phone and pulled up the surveillance on Zhang Qi's side, which was brightly lit and under fire. Just a power outage on my end. Or did it trip? I thought long and hard about it and planned to go out and look at the electrical box. My hand was already gripping the doorknob, and a chill crept up my spine. Could it be that, on purpose, someone disconnected my electricity? I opened the cat's eye and the hallway outside was empty. I've seen news stories before where women living alone suddenly lost power in their homes, opened the door to check the electrical box, and then were raped and murdered by men who ambushed them and dragged them into the room. Is this the same situation I'm facing now? Luckily, the camera at the door comes with its own battery. I pulled up the video and sure enough, I saw a man hiding in the corner, dressed in normal clothes, holding a blood-stained axe in his hand, just waiting for me to open the door and come out, and then chop off my head. Now at a time like this, robbing for sex was out of the question, and the other party's goal must be my room full of food. Who could this person be? Neighbors? Impossible, the elevator is one staircase per card. And the fire escape is locked by me, so the neighbors can't even get up there. That's security. The only people who knew I stocked up on food and also had a way to get an elevator card were the security guards. I can't go out there. I still have solar panels. I flipped the switch and nothing happened. Did he cut my wires too? My legs were weak with fear, and I braced myself against the table to keep myself barely upright. No. I don't have to panic. I have a gas tank at home. I have no problem eating. He's out there. He can't resist for long. Big deal. I'll wear him out. That was a relief to think about, and I washed an apple, nibbling on it as I slunk to the door. I don't use electricity. You're such a smart ass. Didn't you see I bought a lot of gas cans back then? Do you think you'll starve to death first, or I'll be trapped? When the guard saw that I wasn't going to fall for it, he became irritated and started slamming my door with an axe. The sound was loud and left only a shallow mark on the door. Good man, you're so strong. I spent more than $100,000 to install a bulletproof fire door. If you can cut it open, I'll make myself into a dish and serve it to you. The guard started cursing me, using extremely dirty words. I reminded you a long time ago to stock up on food. You didn't listen, and now you've come to rob me and try to jeopardize my life. You're really an animal. I also acted as a cheerleader. Come on, work hard, chop the door harder. It doesn't matter if you can't open the door. At least you'll leave a mark. It hadn't even been an hour, and the security guards couldn't hack or swear anymore. After another moment, he went down the elevator. I still press on. Less than 2 minutes later, he did walk out of the elevator again. He didn't even get on the elevator, but found a dead end in the surveillance and hid. Seeing that I wasn't falling for it, he cursed and swiped his elevator card. Ready to go down, the elevator opens, and surprisingly, there's a zombie hiding inside, who drags the guard into the elevator and starts feasting on him. The man's screams echoed down the hallway. The elevator doors closed and quiet returned outside. I snuck out in the middle of the night, turned on the electric switch, and hooked up the solar wires. My heart skipped a beat along the way, fearing that the elevator doors behind me would suddenly open and walkers would rush out of the darkness and bite me to death. Luckily, it's calm tonight. The walkers in the elevator can make sure that no one else can come up through this elevator anymore. It's kind of a safety barrier for me. Zhang-Chi and Chui ran over there had already fallen asleep. I sent the file to Chang-Chi. Zhang-Chi was woken up by the message tone, took his phone, saw the document I sent, and immediately turned gray. He finished reading it with a trembling hand, gritted his teeth and looked at Chui Ran, who was still asleep, and then fiercely threw Chui Ran a slap in the face. Bitch, slut, didn't you say you've been working on your education for years? Didn't you say you were clean and a virgin? Chui Ran was woken up by the beating and just wanted to have a seizure, but when she saw what was on Zhang-Chi's cell phone, she instantly calmed down. Zhang-Chi looks up to Chui Ran as a goddess, and can't even jerk off to her, but she has long sold her first night at a high price, and then bounced around between various rich second generation, from her 20s to her 30s, her prices got lower and lower, to the point where she ended up with only perverted clients and diminishing hope of ever getting to shore. Then she gets syphilis and meets Chang-Chi, who is unabashedly in love with her. Although Chang-Chi has no money, Chang-Chi's wife, that's me, has plenty of money, and Chang-Chi is a stupid man, very controllable. Chui Ran thought about it and thought it was a great opportunity, so she started to meddle in my marriage with Zhang-Chi. Bitch, bitch, liar, liar. Realizing that he had been deceived, Zhang-Chi was trembling and choked Chui Ran, his eyes red. Why did you lie to me? Why did you lie to me? You destroyed my family, got an STD and seduced me, caused me to betray my mother, you beast, bastard. I had the pleasure of eating my ice cream and enjoying the screen as the two turned against each other. Chui Ran suddenly fished out a sharp knife from the drawer and stabbed hard into Zhang-Chi's abdomen. Zhang-Chi covered his stomach, stared at Chui Ran incredulously, and collapsed to the side. Chui Ran simply did not do anything and held the hilt of the knife with both hands and stabbed several more times. I don't even know what made you think I'd fall in love with you. I was broke in high school and I'm still broke after 10 years. Do you know how much I pay for one night? 50,000. The money in your pocket is enough to buy me a few nights, and how many nights have I stayed with you for free? I'm telling you, you've made a fortune. Do you know that your X ability is not even comparable to that of a 50-year-old man? Su Xiao Xiao is really blind. What does she see in you? I snorted. $50,000. Doesn't Choi Ran even blush when she says that? She couldn't reach that price even when she was 20. If you didn't have a rich wife, I wouldn't even give you a second glance. Don't pretend to be so affectionate. I can't eat a single grain of rice these days. And it's all because you're indulging your old mother. You don't love anyone at all. You only love yourself and money. You coveted your wife's money and got up to harming people. What kind of innocent little white rabbit do you think you are? You're a garbage man like me. No. I'm much better than you. At least I never lay a hand on my family. You, on the other hand, have allowed me to imprison your own mother, determined to starve her to death. Zhang Qi's stomach was a bloody mess, and his mouth was open as he gasped in pain, tears rolling down his face as he looked at the crazy woman in front of him with eyes full of fear. What's he thinking? Will he regret it? I have no sympathy for Zhang Qi. I just think he deserves it. Chui Ran suddenly stopped her hand and went to get the medical kit to treat Zhang Qi's wound. You can't die yet. I have to feed you, and I still want to be able to have a mouthful of fresh meat in my days of eating instant noodles to get by. But you're really hurt a bit badly. If you don't make it, I'll cut off all the meat from your body and put it in the fridge. It's too bad your mom is so old that the meat must be as disgusting as a withered leaf. Otherwise, I would have raised her. I calmly watched what was happening on the screen, and for once, it was actually flaccid as a human pig. She straightened her hair as she scanned the room, a spot of blood on her pale face, her eyes falling just short of the camera. She had a sinister gaze, like a viper that would spit out horrible snake letters. Su Xiaoxia, I know you're watching this play. It's exciting enough, isn't it? Then next, it could be you. Chui Ran's insanity and cruelty is completely beyond my imagination. I witnessed the entire process of Chui Ran's murder. If she didn't survive until the day the crisis ended, it would be fine. Once she survived, she would surely use every means to silence me. Even if the law found that her behavior was justified in a crisis, she wouldn't let me off the hook. It's a very scary thing to be held against you by such a hard-hearted, crazy woman. Chui Ran grabbed some clothes from my closet and got ready to take a shower. Li Hongmei heard the commotion on this side and started banging on the door again. Chui Ran, you little bitchy hoof, what have you done to my son? Chui Ran laughed out loud, his voice relaxed and happy. Nothing, just stabbed him in the stomach 5 or 6 times. Upon hearing this, Li Hongmei completely broke down and started screaming. The sharp sound penetrated the wall and traveled a good distance. The gate was suddenly slammed with a thud. Chui Ran froze for a few seconds, gathering the courage to look into the cat's eye, and backed away from the zombies outside. She couldn't kill anymore, but in front of a zombie, she was a lamb with no ability to defend herself or fight back. Shut up, Li Hongmei, you're inviting the zombies over. Li Hongmei screamed even louder when she heard this, her vocal cords seeming to tear in the next second. I guess what Li Hongmei was thinking was that Chui Ran wouldn't give her food anyway, so she might as well invite the zombies, and the two of them would die together, and still be able to avenge her son's death. There were more and more walkers outside the door, banging their heads and shoulders against the door of the room. The one in the house was just a regular security door, and the frame was a little loose after a few vigorous hits. Chui Ran tried to swindle her. Li Hongmei, your son is not dead. He's not dead. I'm joking with you. If you shut up, I'll open the door and let you see your son. Stop screaming. I'll give you half the food again. After so many times, Li Hongmei will not believe Chui Ran's words, and is determined to die with her. Trayvon turned her head and ran for her room, and over the sounds of women screaming and walkers growling, she heard a cell phone ringing in one corner of the living room. It's a step-away piano piece. It's not Chang Chi's. And it's not hers, is it Li Hongmei's? Chui Ran ghosted over and found an old cell phone in a crack in the couch and answered the call. I smiled slightly and tapped my cell phone screen. The electronic lock of the gate opened in response, and a dozen zombies rushed towards Chui Ran with their bloody mouths open. Happy end of days, Chui Ran.